Hey everybody, welcome back to the Supercharged Kitchen. Here Kelsey and I are, and we're making the Blueberry Brain Muffins. I know for myself, I love muffins, especially one that's gonna help boost my brain function. So we've got some great ingredients right here, and obviously you can see the bowl of blueberries. We love blueberries, so obviously those are going in there. We've also got some organic vanilla extract, some stevia, which is our best all-natural sweetener, extra virgin coconut oil. We've got Suero Gold, which is a fermented whey product. And then we've got coconut nectar as another sweetener agent. What do you have over here, Kelsey?
Well, we have pasture-raised eggs, and it's really best to get your eggs from a farmer if you can find one that does not feed any grains and their chickens are running around free range. But if you can't, it's best to go to the store and look for free range or pasture-raised eggs. So we're going to use some of those. We're also going to use some real salt. That's the brand name. You can get it at Whole Foods or any grocery store. And the reason why we like to use this salt is it's unbleached and unheated. So all of the minerals and nutrients actually stay in the salt. So it's actually very good for you. And then we're going to use coconut flour instead of whole wheat flour or even another flour because it's gluten-free and it's also grain-free and low in carbs. So most flours are really high in carbs and actually are really hard on the pancreas. But this is not. This is high in fiber and virtually has no carbohydrates in it whatsoever. So that's really nice. And then we're going to use aluminum-free baking powder. You definitely want to make sure that your baking powder is aluminum-free, and you can get this at really any store. Publix has it, Whole Foods. So that is what we're going to use.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, let's get started. So we've got eggs right here, and so the foundation of a good brain is good fats. That's what we're going to find in these pasture-fed eggs. And you know, the best part of the egg is actually the yolk. So many people are misled. They go with egg whites, but the yolk is where all the antioxidants, all the essential fats, the high-quality omega-3s, all the nutrients, the choline, they've got phosphatidylserine in there, these powerful nutrients that help drive brain function, they're all in the yolk. So that's really the best part. But ideally, we want the whole egg because, you know, ultimately God made it as a one functional unit. And so right here, we've got our vanilla that's going in there. You know, obviously I add more sweetener. And then of course our stevia, my favorite sweetener, and really the one that has, you know, no net effect on your blood sugar, 100 times sweeter than sugar, and tastes amazing. And so next thing she's putting in there is our Suero Gold. Again, this is fermented whey. And so when you make cheese, there's a curds and whey process. And this is from 100% grass-fed cows, company called Beyond Organic, amazing stuff. Right here, she's putting in the coconut nectar. So this is a low glycemic sweetener, still has an effect on your blood sugar, but much better than typical sugar and many other sweeteners because it's low glycemic.
And it's raw. So you want to make sure to get your sweeteners like raw honey and raw coconut nectar, you want to make sure it says raw on there.
That's right. That's right. The other good thing about this is it's low in fructose. And so a lot of people like to use things like agave nectar, but agave is almost 90% fructose. And what we're finding, science has really shown that fructose is one of the most toxic metabolites for brain function. Okay, and so we really want to minimize that. Agave is not recommended on our supercharged brain recipe plan. So instead, use sweeteners like raw honey, raw coconut nectar, and stevia, the best one, because it's 100 times sweeter than sugar.
So we're going to go ahead here and whisk all those ingredients together. You'll notice that I didn't add in the coconut oil yet. What I'm doing with coconut oil is I'm melting it over the stove, and then I'm going to add it in after it's melted. And the reason why I do that is it's a lot better for the consistency. Coconut oil is actually solid at room temperature, so you want to make sure to melt that down. So that way it can be combined in the recipe more effectively. So we're just going to go
That's
ahead.
right. You know, a lot of people think because the coconut oil looks thick, solid, and white, they think that it's like going to clog their arteries, but they couldn't be further from the truth. This is actually very, very clean fuel for our arteries, as well as actually enhancing blood flow throughout our body. This is prothyroid, actually enhances thyroid function, good for your brain, fat burning fuel. This is the kind of stuff you want to use. So again, solid at room temperature, or when it's slightly cold, but you heat it a little bit and it will become a liquid. So that's our coconut oil.
So we're just gonna go ahead and mix that in. So you'll notice that I mixed all of the wet ingredients first, and then at the end, I'm going to add in our dry ingredients.
That's right. And so one of the dry ingredients she's gonna add is coconut flour. And like she was talking about, most flours are bad for the pancreas because they increase our blood sugar. Coconut flour is 100% gluten-free, grain-free, so grains have lectins and different anti-nutrients. This doesn't. Coconut flour does not have any anti-nutrients. It's basically made out of good fats and fiber. So again, the foundation of a good supercharged nutrition plan is good fats. Okay, we've got plenty of them in here with the eggs. We've got coconut oil. We've got coconut flour. We've got all kinds of good stuff. And then on top of that, we've got antioxidants. We've got the blueberries, which are going to be going in here. Okay, we've also got antioxidants in the eggs. We've also got clean protein that's right there in the eggs. And then of course, fiber. We've got that in the coconut flour. So there we go.
And you'll want to make sure not to use too much coconut flour. So the ratio to coconut flour to regular flour is 1/4 of a cup of coconut flour to 1 cup of regular flour. You'll see here I only added about 2 tablespoons, but this is already getting pretty thick. The coconut flour actually absorbs liquid, whereas regular flour doesn't. So you want to be careful not to overdo the coconut flour, otherwise you're going to have a really dry muffin. We want these to be moist. So just going to finish up combining all of this, and then we're going to add in the aluminum-free baking powder, and I never measure, but it's about half a teaspoon you'll add. Oh.
All right, so the aluminum-free baking powder, a lot of baking powders actually are processed in aluminum. The reason why they label it aluminum-free is because so many baking powders actually were found to have high levels of aluminum in them. And aluminum is the heavy metal that's associated with Alzheimer's disease. When we get these amyloid plaque buildups in our temporal lobe, they're loaded with aluminum and they destroy our memory centers, and we end up with this chronic, terrible chronic disease called Alzheimer's disease. So be sure to be on the safe side. Make sure it's labeled aluminum-free baking powder.
Definitely. So we're just going to finish up with the coconut flour. I added about 4 tablespoons of coconut flour. And what you can actually do is you can actually let this sit on the counter for about 10 minutes and it'll continue to thicken. We're not going to do that though. We're going to get right to baking it because I think we're all pretty hungry. I am anyway.
Absolutely.
All right, and then last thing we're going to add in is the wild blueberries. Now we got ours frozen, but you can use fresh as well. But we're going to add in these.
So wild blueberries are amazing, and these are organic. Anytime you get berries, you always want to get them organic because they are a thin skin. So they will, if you don't get them organic, they're going to have a lot of herbicide, pesticide, things like that. So very important to get them organic. And blueberries, the darker the better. The darkness of the berry is the richness of the antioxidants. So we love that. The anthocyanins, really, really, really powerful. And blueberries are one of our best fruits because, again, low glycemic, high nutrient density. So that's what we're looking for when it comes to fruit. A lot of people, when they're trying to live a healthy lifestyle, they load up on fruit. But a diet that's rich in fruit is not good for the brain because of the amount of fructose and sugars that are in the fruit. Berries are definitely an accepted fruit. They are low glycemic, low in sugar, low in fructose, high in antioxidants. That's the kind of food that we're looking for.
Exactly. So you'll see the color here is really bright or deep blue almost. And so we're going to go ahead. We're going to grease a muffin tin with coconut oil, bake it for about 20 minutes, and we'll be right back.